Hi students, today we are going to discuss the concept is on-demand routing protocols. In this on-demand routing protocols, we have 7 different points are there. That the first one is dynamic source routing protocol and second one ad hoc on-demand distance vector routing protocol and third one temporally ordered routing protocol and fourth one is location aided routines and fifth one associativity based routing and sixth one signal stability based adaptive routing protocol and the seventh one is flow oriented routing protocol. So these are the 7 different points available in on-demand routing protocols. Before discussing these 7 points, first we will go through what is the concept of on-demand routing protocols. Unlike table-driven routing protocols, on-demand routing protocols execute the path finding process and exchange routing information only when a path is required by a node to communicate with a destination. So this is the concept of on-demand routing protocol. Already we discussed. On-demand means whenever we required, two nodes are required to transfer the data from one node to another node. They develop the route at that moment and transfer the data. That concept called on-demand routing. For that, what are the protocols are required? They all comes under on-demand routing protocols. Then some of the existing on-demand routing protocols in details. First one, dynamic source routing protocols. So already we discussed there are 7 different routing protocols are there. In this video, first we are going to discuss first 3 routing protocols. In that, the first one is dynamic source routing protocol. What is mean by dynamic source routing protocol? Dynamic source routing protocol, shortly called as DSR, is an on-demand routing protocol designed to restrict the bandwidth consumed by control packets in ad hoc wireless networks by eliminating the periodic table update messages required in the table-driven approach. So, the basic concept of dynamic source routing protocol is it is designed to restrict the bandwidth consumed by control packets in ad hoc wireless networks. So always in the ad hoc wireless networks, control packets are consuming the most provided bandwidth. So that is restricted in on-demand routing protocol. How means by eliminating the periodic table update messages required in the table driven approach. So in the previous concept, nothing but table driven approach, to update the table information, we periodically required the table update messages. We eliminated that concept in dynamic source routing protocol. Due to that, we restricted the unwantedly consuming bandwidth for control packets in ad hoc wireless networks. So main concept of dynamic source routing protocol is in the table driven approach, what is the table update messages we are using periodically, that is eliminated. Due to that, we are reduced the bandwidth usage. So some more major points are there. The major difference between this and the other on-demand routing protocols is that it is Biocon less and hence does not require periodic hello packets transmission. So this is the major difference in this on-demand routing protocol. It is Biocon less. Here Biocon means it is a transmission concept. Here first it will transfer the hello packets periodically and who received that, if they respond again, they respond back again to that responded person on, with that responded person only the source node is communicating. So such concept will be called as biocon. For that they are first transmit hello packets. So this concept, this dynamic source routing protocol concept is biocon-less. There is no such type of hello packets are not transmitted from source to destinations. So this is the major difference in on-demand routing protocol. It is a biocon-less concept. We are not transferring any hello packets here. Then the next point is the basic approach of this protocol during the route construction phase is to establish a route by flooding route request packet in the network. The basic approach what we are following in on-demand routing protocol is we are establishing, we are distributing the route request packets in the flooding manner. So we want to know what is meant by flooding concept. Flooding means, for example, if a source wants to transfer the data to destination, for that source distribute some packets. If those packets are received by all the other nodes, then that point or situation is called as flooding. So in the on-demand routing protocol also we are using this approach. So what is the route construction phase is there. So in that phase, to construct a route from source to destination, the route request packets are flooded, that means distributed to access all the nodes. So flooded those route request packets in the network. So once if it is flooded, the destination node, not only destination, all the other nodes which are involved in the network, they are also accept that nodes, but they are not respond. Only the required destination node receives this route request packet and respond by sending a route reply packet back to the source. So only the required node, destination node only responding for that requesting packet. Other devices may not send the reply. Only that required node wants to send the reply packet back to the source. So which carries the route traversed by the route request packet received. So how this route reply packet goes means in what way or which path the route request packet used, in that same way it goes back again to the source. So that means source device flooded the route request packet, those accepted by all the devices, but all the nodes are not responding. Only the required destination node responding to that by sending route reply message back to the same way which the route request packet used. This is nothing but the route establishment diagram in dynamic source routing. And if a link breaks due to the movement of edge nodes, node 1 and node 15, the source node again initiates the route discovery process. So in the dynamic source routing protocol, we have route maintenance. Once if you established the route from source to destination, route maintenance also available in dynamic source routing protocol. So why we want to maintain means, so the regular movements, because we are discussing the concept in wireless environment. In the wireless environment, all the nodes are movable, mobility is there. So in such way, if the leaf nodes or the source node or destination are movable, so the links may be break down in the edges. So due to that, if the breakdown is happened, the source node again initiate the route discovery process. Again starting to to ending, again the procedure is come back. Again it sends the root request packets and receives the root request and then establish same manner wants to maintain if any breakages are there. So this is the concept of root maintenance in dynamic source routing. Then we have some advantages and disadvantages are there for dynamic source routing. And that the first one, advantages. First advantage is no need to updating the routing table. So in the dynamic source routing protocol, we need not to update any routing table. Second one, intermediate nodes are able to utilize the root cache information efficiently to reduce the control overheads. So intermediate nodes are also able to utilize the root cache information. Why? Because means in the dynamic routing protocol, we are flooding the root request packets. So all the nodes which are involved in the network, they can accept that information. So they utilize that root cache information efficiently. For what? Means to reduce the control overheads. So to reduce the network problems. Then there are no hello messages needed because dynamic root source routing protocol is a bioconless. If you are not using the biocon technique here, we are not using any hello packets. So these are the advantages in DSR protocols. Then what are the disadvantages are there? Disadvantages. The root maintenance protocol does not locally repair a broken link. So if the links are broken, they are not maintaining locally or they are not repairing them locally. We are freshly developing the root again. So that is one of the drawback. Then there is always a small time delay at the beginning of a few new connections. If the new connection wants to establish, there is a small delay is there in the time. Why? Because means you want to follow the procedure from starting onwards. So these are the drawbacks in dynamic source routing protocol. So this is the concept of dynamic source routing protocol. Then the second one is ad hoc on-demand distance vector routing protocol. So what is this one? The major difference between ad hoc on-demand distance vector and dynamic source routing stems out from the fact that dynamic source routing uses source routing in which a data packet carries the complete path to be traversed. That means the major difference between this routing protocol and the previous routing protocol is the previous routing protocol, the source routing is flooding the data packets to travel in all the complete paths, but it is not available in ad hoc on-demand distance vector routing. Why? Because means on demand means whenever you require, then you establish the connection. So however, in ad hoc on demand distance vector, the source node and the intermediate nodes store the next hop information corresponding to each flow for data packet transmission. So what is the concept existed in ad hoc on demand distance vector routing means the source nodes and the intermediate nodes. So here in the network, three different types of nodes are source node and destination node. Who sending the data, they are called as source node, and who receiving the data, they are called as destination node. Between these two nodes, some intermediate nodes are there. So in this concept, the source node and the intermediate nodes also stores the next hop information corresponding to each flow of data packet transmissions. A root request carries the source identifier, the destination identifier, the source sequence number, the destination sequence number, and the broadcast identifier and time to live field. So that means when you want to transfer any data from source to destination, always source sends root request message and flooding that one. So all the other intermediate nodes are also accepting that information and stores that information. That information contains all these informations. Source identifiers, destination identifier, sequence number, source sequence number, destination sequence number, and all other informations are placed in root request packets, and it is flooded. All the other nodes are accepting that one and stores that information. So this is happened in ADAP on-demand distance vector routing protocol. So this is nothing but the pictorial representation of route establishment in on-demand ADAP on-demand distance vector routing. So if the source wants to establish a connection to destination, means it sends the route request message to all the to flooded. Flooded means all the other nodes are also can accept that. But here that request message stores all the information and all the nodes also stores that information. Only the destination node sends the reply to that request message. So based on how the request pass, the same route is used to do the response. Then source establish the connection to the destination. In this manner, route establishment is happened in ADAP on-demand distance vector routing. So this is nothing but route maintenance diagram in ADAP on-demand distance vector routing. Same manner which we have followed in dynamic source routing environment. Then advantages and disadvantages. Some of the advantages are established on demand. So route is established in on demand, not for static manner. If it is required, then we are established. That is one of the advantages. Second one, destination sequences are used to find the latest path to destination. So destination sequence is used to find the latest path which is used to transfer the data to source to destination. Then the next advantage is the connection setup delay is less. The connection establishment time is very less delay is there. These are the advantages of ADAP on-demand distance vector routing protocol. Then disadvantages. Intermediate nodes can lead to inconsistent routing. So with the presence of intermediate nodes, they lead some inconsistent. Then second one, it is a Biocon based concept. So that is one of the disadvantage of on-demand distance vector routing. And next, heavy control overheads must be used. So using very heavy control overheads. So if there is any problem may be happen to control that, we are using heavy control overheads. So this is one of the disadvantage. So this is the concept of ADAP on-demand distance vector routing. Then the third routing protocol, what we are going to discuss in this video is nothing but temporally ordered routing algorithms. So what is this? The source initiated on-demand routing protocol which uses a link reversal routing algorithm. So temporal ordered means a source always initiated on-demand routing protocol which uses the link reversal routing algorithm. So especially in the temporal routing protocol, we are using an algorithm called link reversal routing algorithm, and it is also follows on-demand routing, but with the help of some algorithm we are establishing the routes. So what are those? So it provides loop-free multi-path routes. So in the temporal ordered routing protocol, instead of sending some packets, we are using algorithms. So that's why it provides loop-free. Loop means in one node the information is always repeating in that node itself. Data may not be passed forward. So such a situation is happened. It is called as loop. So such loops are free in temporal order routing algorithm protocols. With the help of this one, we can provide multi-path routes, and it is Biocon based. So temporally ordered routing protocol algorithm is also a Biocon based concept. That means it first sends the hello message, and if it receives the response for that, then only it ready to transfer the data. Such concept is having in temporal order to routing protocol. That's nothing but we are saying as Bioconn based concept. So this protocol is also a Bioconn based protocol. So the temporally ordered routing algorithm protocol having three main functions. What are those means? First one, route establishing. First it establishes the route. When a route requires a path to a destination but does not have any directed link query packets. So first it establishes the route from source to destination, but it does not have any direct link query packets. Second point, second function, route maintenance, update the packets. So after establishing, maintain the route by using update packets. Then third one is route erasing, clear packets. So after established and transferred all the data, once completed the transmission between the source and destination, the route is erasing with the help of CLR packets. If they send the CLR packet, the route is erased. That means route is terminated. These are the three main functions available in temporal ordered routing protocol. So this is nothing but the temporal ordered ordering in temporal order routing algorithm protocol. Establishment of paths from source to destination, and this is nothing but the route maintenance in temporal order routing protocols. That means if any link is terminated, it uses another path to transfer that data from source to destination. So in any manner the route wants to maintain, and some advantages and disadvantages are there. First we are going to discuss about the advantages. First advantage is less control overhead. So the temporal ordered routing algorithm is less control overhead. Then we are using very less control overheads. So this is one of the main advantage, and the disadvantage is the local reconfiguration of paths result is no optimal routes. So locally maintain the routing. So if once the route is established, any links are broken, it locally reconfiguring that path, but the result of those paths is not optimal routes. They are not optimal. So just they are arranged, but we can't say whether they are strong or not. So these are the advantages and disadvantages of temporal ordered routing algorithms. So in this video, we discussed these three concepts. Other four concepts we will discuss in the next video. Thank you.